it's been a while since I've recorded a bit at a distance, but painting's done. Whether you've watched the painting video, I don't know. So now it's time to rehang the doors. I've just put this one on just so I know what I'm doing, but basically I haven't got the piston or stopper yet, whatever you want to call it, but I've got a metal catch which I've put in the center of the opening, and then I've got the receiver. Well, that's the receiver, that's the I don't know what you call that bit, center of the door. I've measured down from the top. I'm going to do the same measurement on all of them, and then I've already put the hinges on the doors themselves, and then I've held it up. Once I've got this on, it means I know where basically the height of the door is going to be, because you don't want it low enough that these hinges are going to be off the frame, and you don't want it high enough that you've got nowhere for the catch to catch. So if you get your catch on first where you want it, when you come to do the hinges, you know where the door's going to be, because it's only got about a 10mm catch area. So you don't want it too close to the bottom of the frame, but you don't want it too high that it's not actually catching it. So I've done that, held it up, marked the hinges at the top, made sure it's level, and then I've just done a tiny little pilot hole with the screw where the hinges were with another hinge, and then that means I didn't have to hold the door up and jiggle it around. So now I'm going to do this one. First thing I'm going to do, the catches come with their own screws. Just need to measure halfway, which is 40.5. It's just over 20. Measure it from both sides so you know it's the same on each side. It doesn't have to be perfect, but that's your centre mark. Now we know that this catch is going to need to be slightly recessed, because obviously you've got the thickness of the catch to also bring past the flush of the wood. So if you make sure your hinge is far enough back so that the metal of the catch is actually flush with the woodwork itself, then you know it's going to bring it right in and not stick out too far. So that's the bottom bit in. It has got a bit of play to it, but it's better to get it central. Just got a bit of foam so that I'm not resting the finished door on anything rough. So as you can see the hinges are on. We just need to mark halfway on the door, and that is 17 inches rather than millimeters. So that means we're on 8.5. So 8.5. I'll measure this one. So it's 26 to the top of the bracket. the hinges I bought, they were brass. The screws I couldn't find anywhere the correct size to make the heads recessed enough, so I've actually had to drill the countersink on the hinges bigger than what they come as, just so that the screws, which I'm using 3.0s, I couldn't find any that was small enough, even 2.5s. So yeah, I've had to drill them. I've also spray painted them silver to match the same paint as the hinges on the windows. So now that's on, I can put that in. And then we can see and hold it level with the one next to it. I don't know why the door doesn't seem the same size as that one. Don't know. So, marquee top, marquee sides. Guessing it's not the same size. Yeah, it's not as wide. It's not as tall either for some reason. Strange, I'm guessing that's because it's a feature door. In which case it's probably the same. They're all slightly out there. So, I've got that on, hinges are on, drawn where the hinges are, so now I've got a hinge I ain't used yet, and I can just hold that where the marks are, and then just...
I'm not sure I understand. Is there something else
And then just draw where your holes are supposed to be. And you can quickly pilot drill. It means you're not having to hold the door up while you're trying to level everything. There you go. So we're going up slightly that side. I'll put the other two in. It's a weird one. Yes, if you've seen my painting video, I didn't paint the backs of these doors. I've just done a white gloss vinyl wrap. Couldn't be bothered painting them, and also it just makes it nice and clean. You can wipe them. Yeah, not much to say.
Everything centre. 408. That's 2004. Double check that one. Do this one as well. There we go. Guessing that's the door I'd used from somewhere else. The hinge, the handle holes are higher up. So I'm going to have to fill these and repaint that and then drill them further down. That's annoying. So this one can be the end door then. Again, I'll put the hinges around, that should go in there.
That's that done. So just do both sides and then a little bit in the top. catch is slightly catching that one, so I'm going to move this up slightly. So only ever so slightly. Don't particularly want to adjust the hinges up anymore, because although this is slightly bigger than the rest of them, so it is slightly lower on each side, and I don't want to make it so that way it's all up and down, and that across the bottom looks fine. So it's more than likely I'll just move the clip up slightly. Let's get the hinge fully screwed. Yeah.
I'll leave that one slightly up as well, just in case the plywood isn't slightly out.
Couple of them out, but they're all the same. Good job I didn't put the handles on already then. Otherwise I'd have pasted the plastic as well on the back. There we go. They've all got roughly, I think it was 1 inch I measured. That one looks slightly thinner, but it's a 40-year-old Caravan. It ain't gonna be perfect. One needs to go up slightly. There we go. Bang a bit of filler in there now, and that'll remind me. It's annoying when you've done 3 coats of the copper. So that's the top doors done. I'm just going to go and get a wipe and wipe any scratches off. Technically it's wipeable, scratch resistant paint, so we shall see. But that's the top blockers done. I need to get some new screws for the handles, which I'm struggling to find because they're the imperial screw. It's not just a case of getting a new M3 bolt or whatever. I might even have to rethread them just so I can get an easier bolt. But I'll do a bit of working out on the bottom, and then I can do the bottom kitchen doors. So this one's a bit tricky. I've got that one on, and I remember it's 5mm overhang I was measuring before. I've propped up the other two just to see what distance I've got from the door to the edge of the fridge, because I want it to match roughly. So it's about 35mm from the edge of there to where the start of the door is. So I've got a little mark there. I've got a 5mm mark, which is the same rough level as that face, and then I've just done a normal hinge stencil there. So now it's just time to hang this one. I haven't actually got a piece of timber behind it for some reason, so that's got a bit of off cutting there. So there we are. So I'll go and get an offcut now, just so I can have something the hinges screw into. Strange. So there we go, I've just screwed like a 3-4 inch piece of timber. It's only held on by the hinge screws. But that's that door on now. Just need to put the catch on. So once you've got that side on, you can more or less mark where it needs to be. Simple as that. Now, I haven't actually got handle holes in any of the big doors, so it might be a case where it might be on the other two, so they're matching. It might be lower down, so the handle will be somewhere around there. Not halfway, because you'd be down there, but maybe slightly higher than half. Not too sure. Or I could do the top two, so the handle's at the top, and then the one lower down. I don't know. We'll see. So we've got all that on. I've done that one. The height of the door from the floor is roughly this lid and the hammer. I ain't got anything else to pack it out with. And then I've just measured the distance. 35mm back again. And then I've just got the door in, plumbed it up, drawn the hinges. Now it's time to just screw it on. It's almost equal. There seems to be a bit of a twist in the door, but it's fine. Might pull in eventually, but so I just need to get the catches in. So I filled these two old handle holes because they wasn't in line with these ones, but I need to drill where they are. So what I'm going to do is, if I clamp, I need to find where the holes are first because I've wrapped over them. So find where your holes are. You get a bit of scrap wood or something. And you clamp it. So it's flush with the bottom of the door. Then all I need to do is just go through the hole on the back side. It's too thick. Cover it. Do that. So what you do is you just come through the back side. Like so. So now you've got the template. So then you can mark the centre of where the handle is. Because you don't want to be pushing through to splinter the face, you need to drill it through this way. So now you just need to hold it again on the bottom of the door, like you did with that one, but also find the centre of the door. Which is 434, which will be 217. Roughly. And check it your other way. Not 217 then. 215. 2117. Just somewhere there, I think. Two 117. 2 117. So once you've found the centre, make sure it's flush with the bottom again, and then just clamp. Like so. Then you just get your drill and then go this way instead. Make sure you don't drill your fingers. That's one. So once you've done that, you can take your clamp off, take that off, as simple as that. So now we can get our handles on. So I've had to order the screws online for the replacements because they were Imperial screws from back in the day. Obviously it's 40 years old, and my local shop that sells screws didn't have anything like it. I think they're called Edison, I think. So if you just start one handle, shouldn't really need to say much. So I've sprayed the handles, the silver that I sprayed the door, the window stays. There's one. You may have noticed I've done the copper trim. I'm not sure which way around I'm doing the videos. I've sprayed the trim that was around the little display here in the same silver as the handles. So I'm just putting the last couple of handles on. I've just used the jig again I used for the top. But I've cut it so it's 35mm away from the hole and 35mm across. So it's the same depth from the top of this drawer to the centre of the hole, and then the same again coming across. So you just need to hold it flush with the top, flush with the side. And then you can just drill it. That's that one done. And do the same on this one. Flush with the top, flush with the side. I managed to fix the door that it kept popping off, didn't it? I've just packed this hinge out slightly, and then it makes the top stay in now. There we are. So I'm just in, the next thing is to put these cabinet stays, locker stays, whatever you want to call them. So basically, I've done it so that they start 20mm from the top of the door. So you just need to mark 20mm down and then 20mm in. and then it's just a case of getting some screws in. I'm using the stainless steel screws that I got for the rails outside, mainly because I'm running out of screws small enough, and you also need to think about the thickness of the door and then the screw going through it. So you just need to hold your stay so that the corner of it is where your marks meet, or thereabouts. Like so. And then basically you hold the door to what levelness you want. And with these ones you only have 2 screws. And just make sure your screws are halfway in your support brace. So if you hold, I'm going to hold it about the same as what the other one is. There you go. 2 screws in the top, 20mm down, 20mm across, and then roughly in the centre of your wood support. Pretty simple. Obviously, I'm not saying 20mm because yours will be 20mm. You need to measure roughly where the edge of the door comes to the edge of the cabinet. And this one is more 15mm, so I'll do it about 17. But the tops should be all the same. So where these two, I don't know if you can see it, where these two marks meet, that's where you want to hold it. The good thing about these ones are that you can turn it either way. So whichever side door you want to put it on the door, you can do it. Here we are, almost all level, but all braces on the same side. I've only got 4. For some reason I forgot to order the front ones and then my little flap there. So I'm going to see if I can reuse the original ones, because them other ones aren't going to be as used as much as these ones are. So it might be better to. There we go. So this is my sink. It's got a black frosted glass plastic cover thing. I've got it on eBay. Yeah, little drainer, pretty pointless. This is my tap. I've gone with like an industrially copper tap with this little switch here. You can obviously adjust it so that the spouts come in this way. But I just thought it's quirky. It's copper, it matches all the copper trims. So let's go down the copper route. Basically, it's going to be somewhere like that. I think that looks quite good. I'm not sure how close I should have it, but it's going to be coming over here somewhere. There is other models than that which are square or higher up, but I went for quite a little compact one. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm not going to put where I want the sink now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get the tap into the position I want it to be. Mainly because I don't know how close to do the sink, although I should really. I don't know to maybe do the tap in the middle. I'm thinking back corner though, just so it's out the way. And a feature, probably somewhere. I don't want it too close to the wall, but I also don't want it really thin. Basically, you've also got the 25mm outer wood. Which little trick? 25mm masking tape. Just hold it against the wall, and then you can just draw your marks. Like that. So now I know where the wood is, whether I want to fix into it or whether I'm just going to come next to it. Just gonna see if I can. So basically I want the switch to be this side, which I can sort in a minute. I just want to know how close to do it, whether or not too. I think somewhere there. Everywhere, maybe. Coming off the corner at a 45. Come off the corner at 45, then don't want it too close because obviously you're going to have to get the pipe work on underneath. Obviously the further forward you bring it, the more you're going to have to bring, you don't want the sink obviously too far forward. So in fact, if we find the centre of this wood, which is 492, so that's 246. 246, double check. 246. 246 again. You can draw a straight line. Then if you find your center point of sink, which is 13.5 inches, so that's 6 3/4. And double check, 6 3/4. When I measure things, I usually go by whatever's closest. So if it's closer to the inch mark, I'll use the inch mark. If not, I'll use centimetres or millimetres. So once you've done that, you've got that position. Now what might be a good idea is to, for some reason that's not square on there, so somewhere there, 75mm off the wall, 72, 73 there. So I'll keep it that because it all depends on how I've done the edge as well. So it might be better off doing 70 odd mil off this wall and then it's the same distance all the way around, and that will give us enough, a little bit of clearance between the sink and that. Although that's 80. We'll do 85 then. So we'll do 85. In fact, what we need to do is see how much overlap we need. Obviously you've got 2 centimetres there. So if we say the sink needs to be cut 15mm closer in, I mean really it only needs to be this square section that needs to be cut out because that's flush, so that will give us more area to stick it actually to because there's no fixings to it. So what we'll do, so if we say that edge is 90 to the start of the sink, then you'll actually mark it 105 millimeters. So 105. And then an extra 15 millimeters on this side. So if we say that the front is, what was it, 70 something, 72. So then we'll say it's 87. It's 87. And then the cutout only really needs to be 315. So 315, 315. So 87. We're going to go 70. Yeah, because you've got the tiles up. So 70 across the front. And then that means from the front to there is 395. $395. Something like that. $395. Because obviously when you cut this, there's no going back. So you need to make sure that you're not making any mistakes. This square here, can't really see. So what you've got your distance to the outer edge. That's the inner edge that you need to cut because you need an area to stick it down. Somewhere here is where the tap hole's going to go, and then across there is the outer edge of the cut. So you've got, I can't remember what I said now, to the front, was it 70? And then you've got room to bring the tiles and that off, the stick-ons that I've got. So let's just double check. So there's about a 5mm lip on the 3 inches. As long as nothing is showing that way, that's fine, that's fine. You can come that way. Yeah. 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 So the sink is going to be somewhere there. Tap's going to come in there somewhere. You've got room to manoeuvre. So once I've cut this, the only way I can go is that way, closer to the wall, and that is something I don't really want to do. I suppose the only other way of doing it which is the same distance, would be to have the tap in the middle. I'll double check that, because that might not be a bad thing. It's the same slope either side, so I don't know why. I don't know. I'll double check. That's it for the minute. Right, so the powers that be has said to put the tap in the middle of the sink. So tap's going at the back in the middle there. I've just moved it that way an extra ½ inch, just so that the back and the side is the same measurement to the sink, and then the front to the sink is 70mm. So now I'm just gonna, I've moved the pencil mark either end. I'm just gonna drill a hole in the corner, and then I can just jigsaw it out. So I've just drilled my hole. Just gone over a masking tape so the jigsaw doesn't chew up the wood on the edge too much, because I don't really want splinters being past where the seam is. Just double check again before I go anywhere. Moment of truth. We've got a bit of play front to back and a little bit side to side so we can get it in the correct place. Now the finish on the worktop, I'm going to do a linseed oil. It's a bit darker than normal, and it took quite well to little sample, but I need to get this in and sealed so that I'm not sticking to the oiled surface, because it won't adhere to it very well. So that's why I need to get this in. But as soon as the sink and the tap's in, then it's ready to go. So that's roughly where I want it to be. So now I just need to find the centre so I can drill a hole for this. So what we can do, put that in the bottom of there. $15, $30 there, 15. $15 is there. That's about right. 15, 7 bits. 3.5. It's going to be close. So now the tap hole and the sink hole is now cut out. I can now screw through the frame underneath and basically securing the worktop in place, because I'll oil it once the sink and that's in position. Before I stick it down, I just need to get rid of all the pencil marks. Obviously, because I've moved it that way, some of these are on show and the oil will make it show up. Very quick wipe. So I've just got some leftover white silicone, and then I've got some clear silicone. The clear I'll use around the outside, and then the white I'll just use on the inside. What we'll do is that's about right. What I'll do is I'll stick some masking tape down so that the silicone I can wipe off. And you'll also know where to put the actual sink. So what we're going to do is, the white one, I'm just going to put some blobs on the inside part. And then on the outside, we'll put the clear. So the silicone on that, and then we've got that like that. Plop that in there. It's all about right. Give that a good press. And then we'll just run the finger on the edge, getting all the excess. And I'm just going to right on there, and I'll just pop some weight just so we keep it tight. Insects can come off. Take that one off for a minute because I'm going to stick a tap on as well. It's 9:15, so I'll crack on a little bit. So we've got the trigger switch tap. I'm just going to put some silicone around the base, and then I'm just going to screw it in with some stainless steel screws. obviously I can undo the brass section and straighten it if I need to. I'd rather get this section in the correct area. So just a little follow-up video to finish off the kitchen video that I recorded last year. This is how we are at the minute. All the doors and that were finished. The stays are finished minus that drawer one. I had to buy a new one. Don't know where it is. But that's ready to go for the next stage. And that's the end of this video.